and then we can go to it. Right, has it popped up saying it's recording?
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to Tutoring Isn't Lonely Anymore. It's Monday and we are ready to start the week. So welcome, Matt. You're live on the session with me today, and we'll keep an eye on any participants that want to join. We're live on LinkedIn and YouTube, and people can re-watch this recording. So the title of this session is Tutoring Isn't Lonely Anymore, and the purpose of this session is for you to connect with other tutors and find out how qualified tutor membership can benefit you. So let me take you through what you're going to get by the end of this session. By the end of this session, you'll never need to feel lonely as a tutor again. So Matt, you were talking about the fact that you're actually not tutoring at the moment and that you're looking at it, and the title interested you because that's the piece that you're worried about.
Yeah, exactly. So I have got a tutoring background. When I was a uni student, I've been asked by a lot of people if I'd consider tutoring, but I've never done it. So I'm a bit of a field of should I pursue it or should I not?
Okay, great. So let's get into this. So the first person I would love to introduce you to is Julia. Julia, hopefully, will come join our session shortly. She's in a meeting at the moment, but Julia is founder of Qualified Tutor. She's mum of 5. She's got children ranging between the ages of 9 and 18. She's a former school leader, and she is the author of Love Tutoring, Be the Tutor That Your Student Needs. And the book actually comes out in August. And it's been published by Crown House. So lots of feedback, lots of edits, lots of people have already read it, and the feedback has been amazing, because whether you're a qualified teacher or not, whether you're coming out of another industry or whether you're coming straight from school into tutoring, the book is allowing people a step-by-step guide to be able to get that right. So who am I? My name's Odette. I'm a mummy of 4. That's right. We have 9 children between us. And my children age between 7 and 13. I'm a team leader, corporate manager, worked in small businesses and work as a coach and mentor. Business partner with Julia, and also I have another business called Beyond the Chaos, really helping small businesses get beyond the chaos of operational chaos. There she is. Operational chaos and working through their business. So, Matt, what I would love you to do is to introduce yourself. Your name, which we can see on the screen, a bit more about your professional background, and a little bit more about why you joined the session today.
Cool. So I'll try not to repeat too much, but I'm Matt. I'm currently deputy head of English at a school in Solihull. Prior to that, I worked for, well, I've been a teacher now for, I'm going into my 9th year. I've taught all ranges. I'm a secondary English specialist. I've managed a 6th form in my previous school. Decided to take a little bit of a step back and go and be a regular teacher again post-COVID in a new school. And I'm just looking at maybe considering tutoring. I've always been asked whether I'd consider it, but I don't think I've ever had the guts to do it. So sort of the business element and all of that is quite new to me. So I'm just wondering, what would be the first steps? How do I do it? How do I do it well? Is there any pedagogical differences between being a class teacher and maybe being a standard tutor, maybe one-on-one or in groups? So yeah, I guess giving you maybe a little bit too much information there, but maybe.
No, not at all. That was absolutely glorious. So yes, there is a difference. There is a difference between a tutor and a teacher. And one of the reasons I got involved with Qualified Tutor and really bought into the mission was that I have 4 children and I was traveling the world and really busy, and I was using tutors to supplement my children's education. I was spending about £1,000 a month on tutoring. And Julia and I met in the school playground, and we had this conversation about tutoring, and she said, "Oh, what do you do in your business?" So I told her what I do, and she said, and I was like, "What do you do?" And she told me about Qualified Tutor, and I didn't quite get it. As a parent, I didn't quite get it. She's like, tutors need to be supported. 1, it's a really lonely profession. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And 2, it's not okay just to say I'm a qualified teacher. It's not responsible. There are a whole other list of things that are required to be a responsible tutor and to be a professional responsible tutor. But because the space is unregulated, suddenly my brain ticked and I was like, I do professional development with adults. I push this all the time. And suddenly we've got teachers in schools coming out and then delivering tutoring, and I can't check their DBS because their DBS is linked to the school. They've got no insurance. They've got no safeguarding.
Sorry. My bad.
They've got no safeguarding policies. They've got no terms and conditions. They're caged about asking for a reference or I want a review. So we've created a transparent way of tutoring, which allows you not to be lonely as well. Who's that joining us? Pelham, hello, nice to see you. Hopefully he'll put on his camera and introduce himself. Been a friend of Qualified Tutor for a long, long time. Pelham, are you there? We'd love you to introduce yourself. Okay, what we'll do is we'll move on and then we'll come back afterwards. So let's have a look, first of all, why tutoring is lonely. Working from home, whether it's online tutoring or face-to-face, unless you're, Matt, you spoke about Explore Learning, where you go into the centres and you meet the team. Tutoring, there are the centres and they are amazing, but many tutors will dip in and out and maybe not work for one centre or work for one agency. So you're not part of a team. Agencies and tutoring business do keep tutors apart. They purposely keep tutors apart because they want to get the business and share it with the tutors. They don't want the tutors to do it for themselves. There were, when Qualified Tutor started, no tutoring specific communities. If you look at some of the communities, and Matt, you spoke about, like, I've been looking around, and a lot of the tutoring communities that you'll go and find on social media are talking about money all the time. They're not talking about pedagogy. And Qualified Tutor talks about quality and pedagogy all of the time. Yes, we'd love you to earn more money, but actually for us, it really comes to quality. We've been doing a whole piece of work, Julia and I, on our marketing strategy at the moment. And we're working with strategists that are like, yeah, you need to put a post out there that says, tutors, come earn more money. And we're like, no, we're not an agency. Yes, we know they'll earn more money when they're certified and because they're able to differentiate themselves and show them as much higher, but it's not our voice. And as educators, we need to be nurtured the same way we do it. We want to be nurtured and we want to role model that, but we also need nurturing ourselves. Matt, your concern about loneliness in tutoring, do some of these ring true for you?
100%. My mum and my dad recently started hybrid working, and my mum mostly works from home now. And I've had a few chats with her over the last couple of months while she's been doing it. And it's always that working from home bit that it sounds great, but I can imagine the novelty would wear off quite quickly if you're on your own constantly. And again, not, as you mentioned, not having people to bounce off in terms of ideas and pedagogical practices, that would be my most pressing worry, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, can you hear me? I'm speaking on the other side of the desk. Yeah. So, Matt, I think your point about being able to discuss what's going on in tutoring with colleagues is a really key thing that people don't know is missing until it sort of becomes quite an urgent lack. Because when you're working in a school, you've got the corridors, you've got the staff room, you hear the buzz of how other people are doing it, and there's a sort of moderation that happens there, isn't there? It's like a peer moderation, and tutors don't tend to get that. And it's why Odette and I are so passionate, because it's not possible for you to do your best work unless you're surrounded by other people doing their best work. So I don't know if you've seen Hattie's work on collective efficacy, but that's really, so that's really where we're going with this. We're saying only when tutors are aligned can we do our best work.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Callum, how are you? We can't hear you.
You cannot hear me.
Oh, there you are. How are you?
Do you hear me, please? Yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you. Callum, would
very-
you like, I'm just going to scroll back down. I would love you to introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Palum Klojeri, and I am a math professor. I have a long experience. Many years ago, I have started to tutor students in international scale. I tutor them on mathematics alone, not in any other discipline. And it is not a very easy work to be done or to tutor the students because their concerns, their interests are of different kinds. Someone needs help in algebra, the other in discrete math, the other in calculus, the other in differential equations. So I tell the truth that it is not so easy for me to work with the students. But as I did here, I as well not only tutor students, and I have tutored them before, but my burden has been in publishing different papers related to mathematics. And so I am author of many papers published in international journals.
Fantastic.
And as I did hear a little from you, I agree with you that it is very important that tutors communicate with one another because the tutors are of different fields. Someone like me in mathematics, the other in linguistics, the other in biology, in chemistry, and so on. But the ways, the methodology that they use, they're different from one another. So we can learn from one another. That is why it is very important that we maintain relations with other tutors wherever they are. So I agree with you. It is has been very beneficial for me communicating with other tutors.
Fantastic.
And I am very happy joining you.
Fantastic. And we're so grateful to have you here. And for those of you listening, Pelham, you're in Albania, aren't you?
In Albania.
And Pelham hosted a amazing World Tutors Day event for tutors in Albania. So thank you so much. And thank you for championing raising standards in tutoring. We need people like you all over the world.
Thank you too.
Welcome. Jane, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm so sorry I'm late. I had an autism meeting, so.
No, that's fine. Tell us about you. Tell us your name, your professional background, and why you joined the session today.
Jane Speed. I've been teaching, same as Palom, quite a lot of years now. I've taught primary up to secondary and now specialise in maths tutoring. So just looking to join, connect with a few more people, work out what to do with the business and try and get out of teaching full time.
Okay, so you currently in school?
Yeah, but only part-time. I work one day in a primary school at the moment. And I take intervention groups, and then next year it's going to be PPA cover. So it's changed quite a bit.
Okay. So we have so many members that are one foot in school, one foot out. Matt, you spoke about, you know, you were head of years and head of sixth form and wanted to take a step back and get back into teaching. And we see that a lot in tutoring. We do not advocate for people to leave school. We want you to stay in school. We want the best teachers to stay in school. But what we do here is that if you are tutoring, whether it's in inverted commas on the side while also teaching, we believe you should be doing it the right way and you should be doing responsible tutoring. So Jane, I'm not sure if you saw this, but why is tutoring lonely? Working from home, not being part of a team. When you start to work for agencies and tutoring businesses, they like to keep the tutors separate. They don't always encourage them to come together. There are a few out there that do, but more often than not, we see it separate. When qualified tutors started, there were no specific tutoring communities. We now see communities on Facebook and LinkedIn and all these different places, but they often talk about money a lot. How do I get more business? How do I, for us at Qualified Tutor, we have a very nurturing environment. And yes, we want you to make more money. And yes, we want you to be successful. But we really want you to focus on being the best responsible adult that you are to then improve the outcomes of the students. When you have great results, tutoring is word of mouth often, and they'll just come rolling. So that's why we're here. So let me share with you a little bit more about Qualified Tutor. I'm going to see if this is going to work because I've had to present this in a different way. You're going to pull it up. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to stop sharing. It didn't play nicely.
Like the children.
It didn't. No, it didn't play nicely today. So
I'm gonna put it in.
Thank you very much. So we're going to play it. You sharing your screen? Thank you.
Just give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up that the sound's working, please.
Good.
No.
No, no sound.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was your microphone.
Odette, you mute yourself and I'll unmute.
No sound. No animation.
No.
It's created a network, it's created a hub, it's created a community. There's a really great feedback loop with Qualified Tutor.
Let's start again, my lovelies. It's only short.
Tuition was very isolating, and whether you're an individual tutor or you're part of a tuition company, it's a very isolating experience, and you're sort of onto the side. So what this has done is create a network, it's created a hub, it's created a community. There's a really great feedback loop with Qualified Tutor where we're helping Qualified Tutor to develop their program and giving them the insights from delivering tuition on the ground, and then we're learning from Qualified Tutor about what more we can do and what more we can offer for our pupils.
This is a way of recognising us, but also helping us to professionally develop. Being with Qualified Tutor has been a game changer for me. I realised that I wasn't on my own, that there were other tutors out there going through exactly the same things that I was, having the same difficulties, having the same successes, and having the opportunity to share those challenges and to share those successes has developed me hugely as a tutor.
Thank you, Julia. Hello. We're back again. Okay, so that was a video clip from Bet. Those of you that are inside school and also international are probably heard of Bet. It's the largest global education tech exhibition, and it's held at the Excel Centre in London. And it's the second year we've been there. And this year we had the absolute honour of partnering with us, and they gave us a whole area where we could run this hybrid event. They wanted us to be downstairs and to have a stand. And we said, it's quite overwhelming for many tutors that are working at home on their own. And then suddenly they get the opportunity to mingle and it's too much. So we had a whole area. They created signage for us. It was glorious. And we're working with them at the moment on how we can make it even better for 2025. So they recognize that tutors are buyers of the tech. And many tutors use Zoom like this or Google Meet, but many use online whiteboards. Jane, do you use anything for your tutoring?
I use Zoom, but I used to teach on active software. So all my lessons are actually already set, all my GCSE lessons, etc. So I use the active as well from home because you can get like a free version. So it doesn't have all the links and things you need, but it mainly works for me. It's
fantastic. Good. So one of the things we do at Qualified Tutor is we go and find really awesome deals. So one of the ones we found was Class In, and Class In You get 40 minutes for free anyway. So as long as your lessons are not more than 40 minutes, it's free. You can store your lessons on there. People can access it. They were awesome. So there are partners that we work with that we want to make sure that tutors have access to the best possible tools. The same with insurance, the same with DBS. We worked really hard on enhanced DBS. So as a teacher, sorry, Pelham, but in the UK, we have a police check that is available, and an enhanced DBS check is only available to get if you're part of an organisation. So an independent tutor can't get an enhanced DBS unless they're part of an organisation. So what we did is that we got the enhanced DBS offering for our tutors. Now, as a teacher inside a school, they do your enhanced DBS every year, every 3 years, every 2 years, depending. Now, for us, that's not enough, because tutors and parents certainly don't get access to barring lists. So they'll never know if you've been barred. And it's really, really important that we set that apart. So if you have an enhanced DBS and you're a member, you need to be registered on the update service. As long as you're registered on the update service, we just run daily DBS checks for all of our members, and they get a digital live credential that they can share to show that they're a safe tutor. But let's take a step back. Let's look at community and about the loneliness. At Qualified Tutor, we have adapted our community a few times. We've pivoted a couple of times, and we've now found the right way in community. We have two aspects to the community. On the right hand side, you can see the WhatsApp community. As a non-member, you can join the WhatsApp community today and you get access to the announcements immediately. Once you're a member, you get access to the channels underneath. So you can see there's a social space,
which is very silly.
You can see there's pictures of ants. Someone found ants in their house and they shared it. And those that want to engage and have that lightheartedness and have that chat in the staff room where it's just relaxed, it's there. We have a member support chat. So our members can someone put a question in there that they weren't getting some emails. So responded, they emailed, we dealt with it, fixed immediately. So and we're on it all the time. We have a jobs board where our members will put if they have jobs available or if they're looking for work. And we have business members as well, and our partners have access to that as well. And then we have the Talking Tutoring. So Matt, at the beginning of the call, you spoke about pedagogy. We spoke about different pedagogies from the classroom to tutoring. And this is where the magic really happens. I am not a tutor, but that interesting conversation that happens in that space is phenomenal.
Yeah, and really supportive.
Very, very. So there's never a silly question. You know, you're like, should I ask? Where do I ask? That's where they come to.
Somebody had a client last week who kept paying late. And the question was, I really, have a great rapport with the child. They want to give me a sibling as well. What do I do? And we had a really in-depth conversation about, do you have to sack this parent or can you change their behaviors? And it's a thing that you don't learn about in school. It's a kind of relationship with your client that you don't get a chance to develop in schools. And it becomes really, really interesting, but you have to have the support of people who have already been there, because otherwise, Jane, I wonder whether you've had this in the past, you can lose your nerve when you're working with parents and clients, and having the support of other tutors to say, no, this is out of order, or this is what's to be expected, or this is how to state your culture. Those things become part of the skill. Does that resonate with you, Jane?
Yeah. Nice having a backup, isn't it? And knowing different ways that people have solved those problems. So
yeah. There's also and there's also a lovely conversation that happens when you see an inverted commas regular English tutor, Matt, that comes in and says, I've come up against this with this child. This child is just not getting it. I've tried this, and this. Who has any recommendations for me of what else I can try? And then it just flows. You see the people that specialize in SEN come up with their stuff. And then you see other just the conversation is glorious. And the idea of community, we originally had a community online, and we still have a community online where we store all the training, and there are forums in there, but they're not active like this. And our WhatsApp community is fabulous. And there's some people that don't want to be on WhatsApp, and that's fine, and they'll use the forum. But this area, we've seen very, very highly engaged, very supportive, and you are a peer, but you also have the opportunity to mentor yourself. So you create this environment where you really are raising standards in this unregulated space. So that's community.
Wait, the QR code. Do you want to use that?
Yeah, sure. So there is a QR code in the bottom right. If you would like to join the WhatsApp announcements today, you can join the WhatsApp announcements today just by clicking that QR code. So you can actually start to see what's happening. We put in the announcements, we'll put things about the events that are coming up, and anything that's free for everybody. We'll also make you aware of other events that are happening, and then you can choose whether you want to come or not. And you'll start to see our members interacting there. In our announcements, we always welcome our new members. We always welcome and congratulate our newly certified members. So we have a stepping stone to get to that professional tutor status. Okay. Any questions about community? It's really interesting because people talk about community a lot, but getting community right, we have specifically stayed away from Facebook groups because it's not the type of community we are, and I'm sure you all understand what that means. The James face. Okay, so. Events have allowed us to really make sure that no one is ever lonely. So 24/7, that WhatsApp community is pinging. You can turn it off, you can keep it going. But we have online, in person, and hybrid events throughout the year. There is at least one event every single week that you will come into. And if there isn't something that's needed, they usually tag me in the WhatsApp, or Julia has told one of the members to tag me and tell me that we need an event on this, or we need to have a group conversation that's structured about this. And that's how we find our partners, and that's how we find the right things that you need, because there is no point in us running a session on a whiteboard solution. If everyone's got one, no one's got the headspace to keep changing systems. We just need to find the right thing. So the big one at the moment that the members have been asking for is legal support. So we have just partnered with a company called Lawhound, who, if you've been inside tutoring, many will know. It has two partners, and Sue and Steph are awesome. They have created a package for tutors and tutoring businesses, and then given our members a great whopping discount. So suddenly, when we say, where are your terms and conditions for your client? We can't certify you without it. You say, oh, I haven't got, and we're like, but there's no excuse. There's no excuse. If you're earning 40, 50 pounds an hour, 30 pounds an hour, 25 pounds an hour, whatever it is you're earning, you need to be doing it in a professional manner. And we will find you the best tools and resources to then present it. In our events, we also have our partners get the opportunity to come in and run sessions with our members, because what they want to do is ensure that their offering is right for the tuition space. So when we partner with our partners, we do not just say, oh, tell us about, oh, yes, give us a discount. We're like, okay, hold on a minute. But how does that fit for a tutor? Why does that work? To give you an example, the company we partnered with for insurance, we spoke to a few different companies. I couldn't speak to anybody. I couldn't do this. And I got really frustrated. And for us, tutoring is personalized learning. Therefore, anything we offer you is personalized. Hence, Julia and I are with you today because everything is personalized. You want personalization just the same as your students do, and just the same inside schools and education. So when we started to work with Markel, if you Google Markel, they are huge, absolutely massive. But when I met Zoobs and he fell in love with Qualified Tutor, and he literally answers any message I send him, and then he set up a white labeled space for our members to go to, and then told me he'd give us a 10% discount, and then I got him to give us a 15% discount. Suddenly, that's what it's about, because it's about relationships. So our events, whether they're online, in person, or hybrid, it allows us to really build relationship. Has anyone been to any tutoring events?
Can I have a question, please?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay, it is related to the tutors community.
Yep.
I'm in the beginning here in Albania, and I wanted to hear that what are the main terms regarding the statute, or is there any statute for the tutors community?
What do you mean?
I mean that the people ask, what are the terms to join with this community? Like in any other organizations or fellowship, there are terms or there are policies. And so is there any statute regarding the tutors community or no?
So no. So you can join Qualified Tutor. Anyone can join Qualified Tutor. That is because there are people that really need more nurturing than others. We absolutely monitor the communication inside the community. So for example, if somebody was to come in to the community and have an aggressive tone, Julia or I will pick up the phone to them and have a conversation with them, and we will coach them on how we behave at Qualified Tutor. We have 3 values at Qualified Tutor: be curious, be generous, and be reflective. If you're curious and generous and reflective, you will tend to behave in the way that we would see suitable. If there was an issue with the way somebody behaved, we would absolutely have a conversation with them about it. It's not very often that happens, because the lead up to somebody joining, they really get to know Julia and I, and they get to understand the Qualified Tutor brand. And the Qualified Tutor brand is a badge that you get to carry to say that you are certified or you have daily DBS check. It's about responsible tutoring.
So, but to answer the other side of Pelham's question is, what we do have is certification. So in order for you to carry the Qualified Tutor badge, and in order for you to be listed on our parent-facing directory that Odette will show you in a minute, you need to have completed our 5-point check. And that's our way of making sure that on the one hand, we're inclusive, so anybody can be a member, but in order to become a certified member, you have to pass this 5-point check. So that's how we make sure on the one hand, we're there to nurture, and on the other hand, we really represent what excellence looks like.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Good. Anything on events? Any events that you've been to for Tutor specifically that you found helpful? Anything that you would like to see with events for tutoring?
I've joined the Connexus one for end of July, so it's
amazing.
One that I'll be going to. So I don't know much about it yet.
Fantastic. So you'll get to meet tutors. They have Connexus have their own CPD, so you'll get some CPD there. Great. Hello, is it Jyoti?
Hiya. Jyoti, yeah.
Jyoti, hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I've met Julia before, I think. Yeah. Hiya.
Jyoti, you finished out. You did our training, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I got the certificate for the tutoring.
The foundation
certificate. Yeah.
Right, that was before we called it. But Jyoti, we need to talk about the level 3, you and me, don't we?
Yeah. I've started doing that one. But I'm in limbo as to what I want to teach. whether it's primary, secondary, further education. I'm just in limbo, you know. I like tutoring, but sometimes I feel I want a bit more, you know. I want to have that teaching qualification, but then it's like the classroom sizes and thinking of that and getting stressed.
Have you looked into alternative provision much?
Pardon?
Have you looked into alternative provision?
I am doing alternative provision online with my tutoring company, but not in a physical classroom.
Okay, Matt, do you know much about alternative provision?
Yeah, it's for students that are either in foster care or have missed school due to various reasons, isn't it? Some of them have special educational needs. Yeah, I've had quite a few students, but it's just what to do. Like I had a email this morning about how, going for this assessment centre for a PGCE primary position, and I just don't know whether to reply to it because I applied for it. I didn't think I would actually be asked to go in, and now I don't know what to do.
Matt, what would you recommend?
I think knowledge is power, so I think you should go. At the end of the day, what I've said to a lot of people who consider teaching, it's the best job in the world. It is tiring. Be careful you speak to, because you'll find people that are, for want of a better word, maybe slightly bitter and jaded, having done it a few times. So speak to the right people. Don't speak to too many people. Go to it. If you don't like it, you can always go home and you don't have to deal with it again. If you do like it, you can take it further.
The thing is, I've done that already, when I've started something and then I've left, and you just feel like you're just gonna fail again. Do you know what I mean?
So I think stepping stones are really important, which is one of the reasons why Julia created the level 3 award in education and training as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
So doing that, it gives you your
confidence. It builds up.
Absolutely, and your foundation.
Yeah.
So once you have a foundation, I spoke to somebody last week who wants to go into teaching, and they've just done their level 5 in education and training.
Right.
So they're building up. So the idea is that it doesn't have to be fast, but the tutoring or working inside schools allows you to get more experience and build that confidence up.
Yeah, it's not specifically for post 16 though, is it? The level 3.
It was created as a post 19 qualification because it was solving the problem of college tutors not having any qualifications in teaching. So it is now a recognised teaching qual, but it was initially launched for post 19 tutoring. Jyoti, the reason why I mentioned alternative provision is because if you're not stuck on a specific subject or phase, it may be that your real strength is on working with the students and helping them, from where they are. It seems to be work that happens in alternative provision. It also happens to be one of the strongest areas in tutoring at the moment in terms of accessing funding. We work with many alternative provision providers who are always looking for good people. And if you're not tied to one subject or one age, it tends to be a very good option. It's also one of those lovely things to blend with other work. So Jane is saying that she's working in cover in schools next year. And this is another way to create a blend of the types of tutoring work that you're doing, not just to improve the number of hours you've got access to and your rates, but also actually because the variety can be helpful. Switching it up can be helpful because, Matt, if you're teaching GCSE English 4 times a day, then look, that's like what you do right now, right?
Yeah, it's variety is the spice of life, isn't it? So I'd recommend definitely looking at ways of varying up your routine if you can, and it's not going to do you any disservice, I would say, to go and give it a look.
So would you get a blend to actually go and teach physically in a classroom as well as tutor online?
Well, we were speaking. Go on, Matt. Go ahead.
No, not at all. Sorry, I don't know if I could answer that question well.
We have many tutors that do that. Many members that do that. And they love it because they want the variety. Also, when you mentioned before that you work for a tutoring business. So you have independent tutors that have got their core clients and they charge what they want, and
Yeah.
then when they've got a lull, they go and take work from agencies, and what they tend to do is build relationships with really, really good agencies.
Right.
And then they want them, so they get their work there. And we've got many of our tutors doing 1 and 2 days inside school. And
Yeah.
suddenly they've got this balance of what a beautiful career. Just because I'm a qualified teacher or I'm a educator, I have to work in one place and do one thing. The world is your oyster, and you can make it you.
Jane, is that your experience also?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah, I'm really flexible because I've got a partner that helps support me really. So since I had my little boy, who's big now, he's 10, I haven't had to go to the classroom full time. So it's been really nice to be able to be flexible and I can pick and choose which teaching I want to do. So the tutoring has helped sort of bring in some much needed cash for me, but I can also stay in the classroom because I like getting that CPD, getting to talk to people and help solve their problems at school as well. So yeah, I've had the best of both worlds really.
Good.
Awesome.
So it's interesting you talk about CPD. Everything we do is CPD, and sometimes the conversation inside the WhatsApp, I'm like, guys, this is pure CPD what you are doing here. Or everything and every event that we do. Have a look at the QR code to the right. All of our events are on Eventbrite. So click that, scan that QR code, click the link and follow us on Eventbrite to make sure that you don't ever miss a qualified tutor event. There'll be events that you'll say, okay, that's not for me, or that is for me, but you then know what's happening, and then you can keep an eye on what's going on. And when you're ready to join one of the events, you can come and join. As a non-member, some of them you'll need to pay for, but once you're a member, you get access to all of the events. Any questions? No? Okay, great.
Nice.
So that leads us very nicely on to training and qualifications. So your professional development is crucial to your success. Matt said before, knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
And he is absolutely right. The more you know, the more you can then give. And as educators, that's what you want to do. You want to improve the outcomes for those students that you're working with. There's a nice track for us. So those of you that are interested right now, click that link and go and get Julia's new book. Done. Once you've got the book, you then go through each of the modules of our training. Now, if you're a member of Qualified Tutor, there's a really nice 30% discount code for the book. But otherwise, you have the training is fully included in your membership. Now, we've had many qualified teachers go through the training, and they're like, oh, that's really refreshing. And oh, that's really given me a kick that I needed. That's really given me the reminder that I needed. So the idea of keeping yourself fresh, anything we do, our events, the CPD, the training, the qualifications, any training that we recommend, we recommend training as well, is all in about improving you and your knowledge to then improve the outcomes for the students that you're working with. So our standard foundations of effective tutoring covers safeguarding, professionalism. Some of you may think that's crazy, but when you go through it and you realize and you see some tutors that you might have met and even some teachers, you're like, yeah, you're not so polite, are you? And it will just give you that reminder of what you need. Behavior management, planning, assessment. Matt, you spoke about behavior management and the difference between like the classroom and then one-to-one and small groups. There is a difference, and it's about really focusing on tutoring. We have a special education piece and much, much more. And then what you can do with it is do the add-on to get the level 3. Now, most qualified teachers won't do the add-on of the level 3, and that's absolutely fine. but what they are looking for is a qualification. And we are delighted to be able to be pushing that forward. We are qualified tutor, and just watch this space for what's coming for professional qualified tutors. It is coming. Just wait. So if you would like to have a little pre-read and see what's happening in Julia's book that's coming out, scan that code and then you can go straight to Amazon and you can pre-order it. So I'm a qualified teacher. I can tutor.
Why are you picking on qualified teachers today?
I've got 2 in the room. It's because Matt started. See, Matt, no, he started, Matt. It was just Matt and I at the start of the call. So I feel like I'm talking to Matt, but I am talking to everyone else. One of the things as a parent is that we hear and see it a lot. I'm a qualified teacher. Therefore, as a parent, I go tick. Oh yeah, I
can trust that person.
I can trust them. But when you get to speak to lots of qualified teachers that work in tutoring that don't have a DBS or have a basic DBS or don't have an enhanced DBS that's on the update service, of course it should be on the update service because that's what's available. And in tutoring, we don't have access to the barring lists that a school would. So therefore, that parent should be able to check your DBS any day of the week. But what we've done for our members is made it a whole lot easier. So when you have an enhanced DBS and you're on update service, you automatically get enrolled in our daily DBS check, which means you get a verified digital credential. It's verified on the blockchain and you can share that and it's live all the time. So everyone knows that you are safe. Safeguarding training. As a teacher inside school, you'll get safeguarding training regularly. We do the same here at Qualified Tutor. You can go and get it elsewhere, that's fine, but it's included in your membership. We check it, we verify it, and as long as you've got it, tick. Insurance. If you're doing online tutoring, you should have personal indemnity insurance as an absolute minimum. If you don't, why don't you? If you're working for a tutoring business, check that they have you covered. There are tutoring businesses out there in their T's and C's, and it says that you have to have your own insurance. So you need to check that. If you're working as an independent tutor, make sure that you have your insurance. Terms and conditions. There are terms and conditions everywhere. We have a wonderful partnership with Lawhound where they have T's and C's specifically for tutoring and tutoring businesses. Your parents should have T's and C's. You should have T's and C's to set the foundations of that relationship. Julia spoke earlier on about a conversation with parents where they haven't paid. You need your terms and conditions to set yourself up, and also from the start of the relationship with your parent is, I am a professional tutor. I'm not doing it as I might be doing it as a side job, but it doesn't mean I'm doing it as a backhander side job. I'm still a professional. And verified client reviews. We check client reviews. It's the best way for us to check my children's school's calling, a really good way for us to check that you are a great tutor. We don't want to list you on our directory if you're not certified. We don't want to put any tutor in front of parents unless you are certified. So Pelham, from your original question, anyone can be a member of Qualified Tutor, but we do not give out badges to be a member of Qualified Tutor. We give out badges when you're on a daily DBS check in the UK and when you are certified. So we have certified international tutors and tutoring businesses. So an enhanced DBS check is a police check for the country that you live in at the highest level.
So it's all about being proactive, really. And it's saying that by certifying yourself, you're giving yourself peace of mind and you're giving your clients peace of mind.
Any questions about our certification?
I have a question again.
Go for it.
What about those tutors that who don't know English?
That's a good question. So if we would do that, so currently we are working with tutors in Pakistan, Dubai, Saudi Arabia. So a lot of them will be tutoring in English anyway. If we had somebody, let's use you as an example. So say there's a tutor inside Albania that wants to be certified. If we had a partner in Albania that we trained on the certification and we worked with and we were happy with how they did it, and they would work with us through our 5-point check, we can certify. Absolutely. There's no reason why we can't. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Good.
Good.
I think it's useful to, Odette and I are really committed to developing a solution that is international, because tutoring is awesome because it's international. You could be a tutor in the UK working with kids in China, and you could be a tutor in China working with kids in the UK, and we know both. And that's really, really important to be able to lean into that flexibility and create solutions that are international solutions.
There was somebody I was speaking to last week who, when you are qualified to a standard where you're allowed to tutor, the government gave them an insurance. So it was like, right, okay, tick, certified here, tick. So we find it's a 5-point checklist. So as long as that list is completed, we're satisfied. And we don't want it to be so rigid that it looks only at qualifications, because that's not the answer. We know tutors that are university students and they're brilliant, amazing tutors, nurturing and
knowledgeable,
very knowledgeable in their subject, and have got their feet on the ground. They come and get an enhanced DBS with us. They're on the update service. They get their safeguarding training. They ensure that they're insured. They have terms and conditions in place, and they get their client reviews.
I think what's nice as well, what we see in the summer is that tutors tend to use this time to plan and prepare for next year. And this checklist gives you a chance to get your ducks in a row. It's another way of making sure that you've got everything covered and you're doing things right. And that's really how we like to work with people, that they come in and they say, oh, these are the basics. This is what we need to have in place. And that becomes very supportive.
But what happens is, with the certification, our gift to you is that we list you on our directory. And our directory is parent-facing, agency-facing, school-facing, but we only list certified members. So when people might say to us, oh, we can see you've got X amount of people on the directory, we say yes. Oh, is that how many members you've got? Absolutely not. Because there'll be people with us for a year, 2 years, and they might not be ready, and that's okay. But our job as leaders in this space is to nurture them and support them to get to that 5-point checklist. Jane, for somebody like you, you're going to go, oh, no brainer, of course, tick, tick, tick. We had somebody join last week. It was a business, so we do business certification as well. Within 3 days of joining, she put all of her tutors on our training and was certified and listed on the directory, and then sharing her certified status with everybody. So that, some people can go really fast and some people will go much slower. And for us, either way is okay, but you're working towards. And those people that get certified very quickly then join our awards program. And awards that you may see, you know, the best tutor of the year is, and often you will, when you do your research, you will find it's because they've applied for the award and they have often had to pay. Now, with our awards program, it doesn't work like that. It's all evidence-based and it's included in the membership. There's no additional fee. And once you hit mastery level, then we invite you in to come and join our Love Tutoring events. So the people that you see running events with us are people that are mastery level tutors, that are safe, skilled and supported all mastery level. So we have foundation, we have advanced, we have mastery. If you get foundation in one of the categories, you'll get foundation as a full award, because you have to be a full-rounded individual to be the most effective tutor for your students.
And all of these things are structures to give you a sense of career progression, and a sense of the next step and how to continue to strive. Because otherwise what happens is you leave the classroom and you feel like you're sort of free falling. There's not enough structure to help you to know how to continue to level up. So that's why we create these systems and these structures to help you to have a sense of, I'm moving, I'm continually developing. And there's work that we've done with the Chartered College of Teaching and lots of other organizations to create this real sense of aspiration alongside tutoring.
How do you become a member with Qualified Tutor?
Really good question. So you can simply just join, and we'll give you the link for that. Julia will put it into the chat for you now. You can simply just join, and with the application we ask you some questions, and then it's a monthly subscription. And the reason it's a monthly subscription and not an annual subscription, or pay X month, we just keep it as a simple low-cost monthly subscription, is that the engagement and the value that you get should reflect. So we charge £23.99 a month, and it includes everything. So all the events, access to the training. If you're doing the level 3, you have to pay for the qualification, because we have to pay for that. And then you get the WhatsApp, you get daily DBS, you get discounted enhanced DBS as well. We give a £15 discount to anyone that's a member. You get the certified status, you get added to the directory listing, you get the QT awards. Every time you complete something, you get the digital credential that's verified on the blockchain.
Partner discounts.
And all the partner discounts. So we wanted to create a membership that was low cost, and really to sit back and go, if I'm tutoring, why would I not be a member? And
is it a new thing then, becoming a member? Because when I know it was a couple of years ago now, Julia, because I suffer with depression, so I kind of go off in my own world for like months. But I've been seeing all your emails coming through, and I'm like, yeah, I've got to join one of these Zoom links. But I forgot what I was going to say now.
Yeah, just,
but yeah, no, is the membership a new thing? Like,
membership is about 18 months old. For that, so when you first started with us, it was training. And what we've done is we've put the training inside the community, because we know that not everybody needs the training, but everybody needs the structure and the support. So it's created one affordable package where you can stay for as long as you want. Doesn't have an endpoint in the same way that training does. And that's worked really, really well for tutors. And most of the people that you will remember from last time you were here 2 years ago are still members. And that's for us is the best testimonial. Those people that you will have seen on the video right at the beginning, those have been with us since the very start. And that for us is the best testimonial.
Right, okay. I think it was before, it was longer than 18 months, I think.
That's right.
My certificate, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that, Jyoti, that shows you that we are constantly innovating. Julia and I listen very clearly to our members. I will get messages on a Saturday evening and they're like, oh dear, I was just thinking. And I'm like, okay. I had somebody, one of our mastery members, emailed yesterday, and she wants to run a session about a system that she uses and thinks it's really great for the tutors. I'm like, okay, great, let's work it out. Let's work out where we can do that, because there's that curious piece, but the generous and the reflective values that we live in Qualified Tutor. Of course, I'm curious. Of course, our members want to be generous, and it allows us all to reflect and make sure that it's right. And it's an environment that is really, really safe. It's not an environment where, you see what happens on Facebook with, we're not fans of that social media space because it's not safe. People are not comfortable to ask a question because it's not, am I going to be judged? Is someone going to say this? And what about if a parent sees this? And what?
Very public.
It's so public that it's not safe, and this is a really safe environment to nurture each and every one of
So
you.
we have a phrase, I don't know if this will resonate with you, that tutors are colleagues, not competitors. And I remember when I started out in tutoring, I didn't know if I could ask questions to the tutors that I knew in my community, you know, around here, because I didn't know whether I would be sort of exposing myself, what I didn't know. I didn't know if I would be, you know, letting them pick up work from me or the other way around. I thought that they were my competitors. And that was really isolating for me. And the minute that I realized that educators can't function like that, you have to treat other educators as your colleagues, because that's the best way to improve things for students. So the minute you change your mindset and realize there's plenty of work, there's more kids who need help than you'll come across. Yeah, there's more kids who need help than you have hours in your day. The best way that we can make a difference in education is by working together as colleagues. And that's a massive, massive mindset shift that I think has been really, really powerful for lots of tutors that we've been working with over the years. So that idea of seeing tutors as colleagues gives you like an abundance mindset. Yeah, it gives you that sense that we can do more together. So let's open up and not feel too, you know, guarded about the way that we work.
The interesting piece around colleagues, not competitors, Julia, if you look back at any of Julia's work for the last 4 or 5 years, she's used it all the way through. And what we love to see at Qualified Tutor is when other people use our taglines and use our phrases, and we see it all of the time.
Did you guys see World Tutors Day a few weeks ago?
I missed it.
So World Tutors Day we created 4 years ago. We put it on the 2nd of July. And nowadays people say to each other, Happy World Tutors Day. And it's just the most wonderful thing, because it's sort of landing in people's consciousness that you have to celebrate tutors and the work that happens all year round.
I sent the link to the children I tutor, and they did me some thank yous back. So I got some.
Yay! I might go back and have a look in the system and see if I can see what they said.
Have a look for Callum's one. It was really good. It made me cry. So
Yes. But by being part of Qualified Tutor, these ideas come out from everyone and say, oh, that works really well, or that didn't work well.
Or it takes a while for it to work well, and that's fine too.
And everything we want to create is for our members. And you know, this isn't a membership organization for Julia and Odette. It's a membership organization for qualified tutors. And what does a qualified tutor look like? A qualified tutor looks like this.
Oh.
So,
Jane, are you Jane Sparrow? What's your surname?
Jane Speed.
Speed,
as in fast.
So, let me take you through some of the things that are involved that are part of our membership. So tutoring isn't lonely anymore because we created community. There's lots of spin-off communities that have happened from that, which is lovely. And our members, we see our members there's a maths community that one of our members now has created. Another member has just started an English one. And we're like, that's we have to great. And that for us, that's not competitor, that's colleague. Congratulations, well done. And we know we've been part of that. Events, online events throughout the week, training, self-paced and accredited, certification, digital credentials that are live, that give your clients peace of mind, the directory listing that's client facing and it's free to use for you and your parents, and discounts and partner discounts and more and more. Any questions about the Qualified Tutor membership and how you will never ever be lonely again?
Sorry, I'm just diving in here. Can I just steal the share screen for a second? Odette, can you stop your share?
Yeah, of course I can.
Okay, you're gonna love this.
Jane, she's found it.
No, she sent it to me.
I've sent it to her.
Jane, I would just like to send a massive thank you from the bottom of my heart. Having autism, ADHD and anxiety is an everyday challenge. To be accepted and understood by others is very hard. You really made a difference. Having you as my tutor with your patience and understanding has made a massive impact to my life. You've given me the confidence to challenge myself in the world of maths. Your techniques and the way you simplify the work is amazing. I went into my exam full of confidence and feeling so positive and used your technique. You're a fantastic tutor. So once again, thank you so much from Callum.
Oh, that's really nice.
He was so nice, honestly. Made me cry.
Oh.
Makes me tear up.
Oh, amazing that he had words for that.
And I sent it to his mum because I said, "Oh, he's like an 18-year-old. He didn't get through his exam, so I then tutored him for a year after his GCSE, and he still hasn't got it because they just didn't put the support in at the college. So 1 hour a week was not enough to get him through. But he learned a lot, and he's a lot more confident. But yeah, I said to his mum about it, and she said I didn't help him with it, and I sent it to her, and she was like, "Oh my god, that made me cry." She said he's done that by himself because he finds all this sort of thing really hard to do. So yeah, it was lovely.
It's absolutely lovely. I tell you something. I have one of my kids has really struggled to attend school the last couple of years, and so he was helped towards his GCSEs with 3 qualified tutor members, which was a massive expense, and he was supported in science, English, and maths, and it's the best investment I could have made, because every time I saw him sitting with them and interacting with them, and how his anxiety levels dropped and how he had a reason to get out of bed in the morning, there was so much beyond the actual subjects and GCSEs that he now did face and got through. There was so much beyond that. It was so much about building him up as a person, and it wasn't something that I could do. It was something that I had to find someone else to do on my behalf. It was really special, and it looks to me like that's what that is here.
It's gorgeous,
Really
absolutely gorgeous. And those of you that are teachers in the classroom as well, there'll be students that you can think of that you will say, I wish I had more time with that child. I just needed more time with that child. And those that tutor get that time. And we really see the thank you notes come through for World Tutors Day, and you can use them all year round with pleasure. And they're there for you to use and to get. They are verified reviews. They're like a Google review because they're verified on the blockchain. The way we've set it up is they're totally verified.
I'm curious, Matt, do you mind if I pick on you again? So of course you're used to those yummy letters because, you know, in school you get those, for sure you do. But my question to you is, you know, you mentioned at the beginning of this meeting that, you know, people have asked you whether or not you'd want to tutor and you weren't sure. Did you know that that's what good tutoring feels like? That receiving a letter like that Jane just received, that's what good looks like. Did you know that?
Not at all, to be honest. The students that I have that do have tutors, you sort of see the opposite because you see misteachings and you see things like they're not always qualified or they're being taught by a relative who's passed the exam. And so in a way, I guess, I've been sort of taught to think that tutors are perhaps a hindrance to good teaching, but not so much now from seeing.
Jane, would you mind responding to what Matt's saying, please, from your experience?
Me?
Yeah.
Don't know. What was the question again? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Giotti, I'm sorry. I was calling on Jane. Just hold on a second.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Sorry, I need the question as well because I've totally.
So Matt was saying that, you know, from a class teacher's point of view, a tutor can be a hindrance, and you can have a sort of like a jarring feeling when you hear that one of your students is working with a tutor because there might be misteaching.
Yeah, I've seen that in school. I have seen that in the classes. I work in a primary school, so I've worked with, I'm in the lower years now, so I'm in Key Stage 1 and early years, but I've worked right up to Year 6, and there is a tutor that tutors a lot of our children at school, and he's not teaching the right methodology, the right systems that we have, that we follow. So yeah, I can see what Matt's saying, but he's just one person, but he affects a lot of our children. So
how do you as a tutor make sure you're not that person?
Well, I'm still in school, so I'm still up to date with what I'm supposed to be doing. I think it is the CPD thing. It's keeping yourself in the loop, making sure you know the latest methods. So like following the Singapore methods is really high in all our schools now. So, you know, I'm making sure I'm doing all those things. And I always, with my children, make sure I know what their schemes of work are they're following, so I follow along with what the school is doing. So, because I mean, all the schools are different depending on what their schemes are. So,
and with the secondary tutors, they have to be really proactive about keeping in touch with the exam boards and understanding.
Yeah, I mark GCSEs as well, so I've got that background too.
That's really interesting. Lots of our members sign up for marking, and even though it's not well paid and it's a long slog,
it's rubbish pay. But yeah, if you become a team leader, you double your pay. So I'm working up the ranks. So
fantastic.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
But as Julia just said, they see it as CPD because for them it's learning to be able to then tutor.
And the lovely thing is that you can still then be really intentional. So you're so skilled up. I'm going off on one now. So firstly, you can assure parents, I'm an assessor. I know the stuff. I know what gets the grades. And secondly, when you deliver your sessions, you don't have to stay too tied to the material because you know what the big picture is. So that actually gives you freedom. The knowledge, again, like Matt was saying, is the knowledge that gives you that freedom to really be responsive to the student.
So I'm sure you can see how this conversation happens regularly inside the community when somebody asks something or somebody says something, and then it snowballs into this glorious learning environment. So we would love to show you what our members say about Qualified Tutor. So we're setting standards in tutoring. Anne Morris is the founder of Yippee Yap, which is a gorgeous, yes, Matt, you familiar with Yippee Yaps? They come into your school?
I've heard of them in recent weeks. I don't quite know a lot more about them, but I've heard they're good.
Okay. So yeah, Yippee Yap do have their tutors are school leavers. So they're in a gap year. So instead of going off traveling around the world, they go and work for Yippee Yap. What does Yippee Yap stand for? Young,
inspiring people, inspiring young, aspiring people.
So they're Yippee Yaps.
Young.
So they're a phenomenal team, and Anne is amazing, and we have an amazing relationship with her. Krita Vabanam is a certified independent tutor with us. So's Dee. Sarah Webb, actually, Jane, you remind me of Sarah. Sarah has created actually in her home a classroom, and she does group tuition, and she specializes in 11+, but she also has been upskilling for SEND, and she works inside school 1 day a week. And we know our members, right? We know who these people are, and it's the training that's delivered. We always get great feedback. Our members love being part of something and never feeling lonely. If a tutor ever feels lonely, they are not going to give their students what they need.
It's not sustainable.
So come and chat with us. That's quite a cool slide. If you would like to book a call with Julia or I to find out more, you can book a call. Joyty, if you want to go straight to come and join, come straight and join.
Joyty's known us for long enough.
Once you're in the community, you are on WhatsApp and messaging, and you have us. And if you'd like to find out more, then scan this code, book in a call with us, and one of us will be with you and will answer all of your questions.
But I've put the join link in the chat here. I can actually put the book in as well.
Okay. You know these scan codes, can you if I go straight on the website, can I still get to the
of course you
pages?
can. Yeah, of course you can. We've just made it easier on this presentation, so you can literally pull the camera up.
Right, okay. My phone's been a bit temperamental to scan, so
that's okay. Whatever's right for you. Does anybody have any questions before we close out from today?
don't think so.
Jane, did you discover what you were hoping to discover?
Me?
Yeah.
I've just come for to not be lonely anymore. Just to find out what's out there, really. There's lots of different companies, and it's trying to get the best for me, I suppose.
Good call. Really, really good call.
Mm.
Well, I hope that you'll book in if you want to ask any more questions. Pelham, does everything feel clearer to you?
Clear.
Good,
It
fantastic.
is clear.
It's clear, good. And Matt, what are your thoughts?
Really good. You've touched on a lot of the stuff that I was actually thinking about as well, about keeping up to date. So yeah, it's answered a lot of my questions.
Fantastic. We'd love to hear any more questions that you've got. You can also, I'm going to put my email address in here if you wanted to book in afterwards. Giotti, I'm looking forward to welcoming you into the community soon.
Thank you. I look forward to also joining as well. It's nice to have someone to talk to.
Yeah. Would you like to talk?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for running the session for us. It was excellent.
No problem. And I look forward to seeing you all again very soon, whether it's on an event, on a one-to-one call with one of us, or inside the community. And I wish you only success.
Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you.
Speak
Bye.
soon. See everyone.
Bye.
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 So that was really nice.
Oh.
I'm trying to close the meeting.